Welcome to this special episode from Northampton Music Festival as we bring you our first girls' night in. I'm here with some of the leading lights of Northampton's music scene, some of the best ladies that we have currently on the circuit. We're going to be having a bit of a chat to you. First of all, let me introduce everybody. We have Charlotte Carpenter, we have Sandy Goody, also known as Velvet Engine, Amii Dawes and the lovely Hannah Faulkner. And at the top of the programme there, we opened with Hannah Faulkner with This Is Major. Which was absolutely beautiful. So we're going to kind of start things with you, Hannah. I'm just going to throw some stuff over to you there.
Okay.
One of the key things that people kind of say about you is that you are the hardest working woman in music in Northampton. Do you agree with that, or is that kind of...
Not this past year, but previous years I've kind of like been gigging as much as I can, did 300 gigs last year and
300 gigs in a year, that's a lot of gigs.
It's a lot.
So in terms of getting those gigs and putting yourself out there, I mean, you're very, very hot on your promotion, you're very good on your PR. Is there any particular advice that you would want to give anybody else, any of the musicians here or any aspiring female musicians about how to promote themselves?
The best thing to do is kind of get on all social networking sites like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, which we've kind of discovered this evening.
In a big way.
But no, literally just promote yourself as much as you can and get yourself out there, get supporting local bands or local artists and stuff. And the more you do, the more bigger things you'll do, if that makes sense. And yeah.
And how do you find that in terms of the Northampton music scene? I mean, obviously, very much with the Northampton Music Festival, we're all about supporting local talent. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's quite a thriving scene? Do people support each other a lot within the local Northampton scene, or have you really had to push yourself to get yourself out there?
It's really weird, because when I first started about 3-4 years ago, I thought like the Northampton music scene was quite cliquey, but now over the last 2 years, everyone's kind of like cool, everyone's like really supportive of one another, and it's actually nice that you've got like a girl lineup tonight, because as well as like performing, I host as well, and there's not a lot of girls, there's not a lot of female singer-songwriters and stuff out there, and it's actually nice to be like in a room with the girls.
How do the rest of you find that? Is that something you've all kind of found, that you tend to be the only girls on a generally male lineup? Is that something you come across quite a lot?
Yeah, definitely. I spend a lot of my time surrounded by men, really.
It's not always bad thing.
No, most of the time I'm a girl in the room. Yeah, if there's another girl, then it's really cool, because you have someone to connect with on a different level that you can't with men. So I really enjoy it when another girl's on my lineup.
And do you think that's something that you know, without sounding like a cliche, almost the idea of this kind of sisterhood, that women do generally like to get out and support each other, or do you find that you've ever got somewhere and you've been like, oh, she's not very nice, or do you find that generally as a whole it's quite an open and accepting scene?
Yeah, I was quite worried when I first sort of got involved in the whole gigging thing around Northampton, because I was worried that it would be like that. If I was to come across another female artist, I thought, you know, it's going to be sort of like direct competition, but what I've experienced so far has been very sort of, you know, very supportive, especially within the female group. I thought it would be the opposite, and it's actually really supportive.
Because you're still quite young, aren't you, Amy? If you don't mind me saying, you might say you're 19. Yeah. So how long have you been playing in Northampton? Is it
about 2 years, I think, and then for the last sort of year properly gigging. Then before that it was kind of just on and off whenever they'd arise, and I was able, because obviously I was sort of underage when I first probably
sneak into places.
So I just
sneak
allowed
into
to say that.
places.
Yeah. But no, for the last year or so properly, I've been going around Northampton.
Well, that gives us a perfect opportunity to hear a song from Amy. So here we are. We're going to throw over to Amii Dawes with Holy Escape.
Inherited features. Your daddy was a preacher. The Bible belt has tightened round your waist. You're in church every Sunday, but you'll break the faith frame one day. Work with perseverance, not with haste. 'Cause every time you bow your head to pray, you pray for a chance to break away. And it's ironic that you need faith to make your holy escape. But by the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, you will find the things that you need the most. By the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, you will find the things you need. A smile, you haven't seen it for a while. The Bible belt has tightened round your neck. You need to pray each evening. It's true, looks can be deceiving, 'cause the Lord has taken all that you had left. And every time you bow your head to pray, you pray for a chance to break away.
was Amii Dawes with Holy Escape. So Amii, I'm just going to throw back to you really quickly there. That was a very kind of specific topic that you were singing about there. It was really interesting for us all kind of listening to it. I was quite keen to know, where did that come about? How did the inspiration for that song come about?
It was about a friend of mine who was born into quite a religious family, and every night he would pray to sort of get out of that situation. And I thought the irony was worthy of writing a song about, because it's not your traditional sort of subject to write about.
Definitely.
So,
It's pretty different. I mean, and that's something that obviously I'm really pleased to be able to have you four in particular on the sofa with us this evening, because you do all write your own music and you're all known for your own music. Is that something that you think is particularly important when you're talking to young women who might be looking to break into the music industry? Do you think it's important that you follow your own direction and you have your own sound? I'm going to throw that over to you guys over here.
Yeah, like from a really young age, I was always like encouraged to perform my own music, because at the end of the day, that's how you want to be. That's what you want to be known for. Like when I started out at 16, I did do a couple of covers because I didn't have enough material. But as soon as I did, I just stuck to my own stuff really. Because yeah, covers can be. They can be good for a crowd and they're crowd pleasers really. I don't really know anybody that's done a cover for themselves. So yeah, my best advice would just stick to your own stuff, because it's credible and you want to be known for your own stuff rather than somebody else's, don't you?
I mean, would you say the same, Sandy? Because I know your songs in particular are quite personal, and I've seen you play and I've heard your lyrics. Is that something that you think is kind of key to what you do as a musician?
Yeah, it's definitely key to what I do. I mean, I think I'm not very good at talking really, and I'm quite shy when it comes to talking about what's sort of like my feelings. And the really best kind of way that I can kind of express myself is through writing and like playing my own songs. I do like to throw in the odd cover, but like generally I like to write my own songs. It's good for me as well. I think it just puts me in a kind of happier mental state.
It's quite a therapeutic process. Would you
Definitely,
kind of
I find it really satisfactory. Like after I've written a song, like the other day, like that song. Oh wait, hang on a sec. I can't say that, can I? You haven't played it yet.
We're going to have a song from Zaddy later. It's okay. We're going to have a song from Zaddy later. Keep going. It's fine.
So I wrote a song last week, and I was in quite an emotional state. But when I'd finished the song, I was like, I don't know. It's just really satisfying.
Relief, isn't it?
Yeah. And you're just like,
I find that as well, because I've never like written a diary or anything. Because I'm a bit like that. I find it very difficult to sort of, if someone was to ask me how I'm feeling, I'll just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then if you leave me alone after like a big sort of life event or something, like, because I can gain inspiration from anything. I'm a bit of a hippie, so I look at a tree and I just think, oh, no. But no, I think if you just leave me alone in a room, I'll happily just tell my feelings. But if someone was to ask me, I'll just shy away. I'm not very good at sort of, because it's kind of a bit like a diary for me then really, because I just write pretty much anything that I feel. It's too difficult to tell someone in person, so I just write it down instead. So
I feel massively lucky to be able to write about my feelings, because I think if I didn't have music, how I'd be going insane, because I have all of these feelings, like, and they go into songs, and the energy goes into songs, so it's cool. And I think if I didn't have that, like, I would be mental.
yeah, it's good to channel that into something
I'd be going around like, oh no.
Yeah,
I think that's the
lucky.
silver lining of it as well, because at the time if you think, oh, I'm feeling a little bit rubbish, and you think, oh no, what am I going to do with my life? And then you write a song, and then
that's what I'm doing with my life.
You listen to a song, and you kind of like, oh, okay, well, at least something good came out of it, and then you kind of,
Fantastic. Well, while we're thinking about poor Sandy's feelings being exposed, that leads us to a good time for us to have a song from Velvet Engine, and this is This Old Hat.
Lovely, the signpost was the wrong way. Lovely, it's fine, we all make mistakes. And when the torchlight has run out, you'll find I have seen the wind change the shape of the trees. Should you be ready, open arms, you'll see. Should you be ready, open arms, you'll see. How is she so pale when she's been bathing in the sun for days? Heard her cry and she knows exactly why. Why don't you come here to remind me of my failure? Does that make you proud? What have I done here to the words that used to come pouring down? Where did they go? I have seen the wind change the shape of the trees. Should you be ready, open arms, you'll see. Should you be ready, open arms, you'll see. Should you be ready, open arms, you'll see. Lovely, the signpost was the wrong way. Lovely, it's fine, we all make mistakes. And when the torchlight has run out, you'll find your way and you'll shine on your own.
So that was Velvet Engine with This Old Hat, which was absolutely gorgeous. Really, really nice to hear that, because that was his first outing today as well. So
It was an
really
exclusive.
good. It was an exclusive. Northampton Music Festival, bringing you the exclusives. One of the things that I wanted to kind of ask all of you here in particular is that obviously there's a lot of manufacturing that goes on in popular music at the moment. I mean, I don't imagine any of you particularly glued to your telly on a Saturday night kind of watching X Factor. We talked about the importance that you all have, that you all think in terms of writing your own music. But one of the things that is very prevalent in the modern music industry, particularly for women, is the idea of image. And image it goes hand in hand with your music, and often in the manufactured world or the pop world, the image is the thing that is key. And I was just very keen to get the opinion of all of you guys. You're all of kind of slightly different ages and different influences. Do you think it's something that has been a barrier for yourselves, something that you've embraced and worked with? I mean, what would your take be on it, Hannah? Let's throw that over to you.
For instance, like Beyonce, I absolutely love her, and it's kind of like the Miley Cyrus thing and the Beyonce thing at the moment. It's like Miley Cyrus, I like her music, I don't like her image, because I don't think it's good for 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. I don't want my nieces and whatever, my cousins, to see that. But then you look at Beyonce and it's all about like independence, and she's a bit of a feminist and stuff, so it's kind of like girl power and stuff like that. But she can get away with that, and it's really different, because you've got two very sexy ladies, but then one of them's taking it too far.
Do you think it's a case of ownership? I mean, the way, if I was to think about those kind of artists, and you know, Beyonce's a perfect example, because I mean, she's so hot, let's be honest, there's just no, you know, she's just ridiculously good, incredibly talented, but she is a feminist, and there's been quite a lot of kind of press around her new artist about how she wanted to take a feminist approach to it. But at the same time, she is very sexual. Do you think it's a case of the artist owning their image as opposed to it being manufactured? And it's kind of hard to differentiate.
I think with people like Beyonce, they've kind of earned their dues, so they kind of can do whatever they want and get away with it, and you know, that's kind of cool. I think people like Miley Cyrus, it's kind of come out the blue, and I think that's what shocked people the most. I think if this was something we always did, it would not be a problem at all. Like Beyonce has always been revealing, but she's always been known as a beautiful, voluptuous woman, and that's okay for her because that's what she's always been. But if you come with something out of the blue, then everyone's always going to have something to say about it.
Yeah, it's the shock factor, I guess, wasn't it? The whole Miley Cyrus
thing.
It's
because she was like Hannah Montana, and then just suddenly overnight she just turned into this person.
It's a very polite way of us dealing with Miley Cyrus issue. Do you think there's a pressure on you as female musicians? Have you ever felt that you had to conform to a certain image, or that you had to promote yourself in a certain way, or have you all had the confidence to say, you know what, my music is my music and judge me for that, which I kind of already know the answer to, but I'm keen to hear your opinion on it.
Yeah, I've kind of never really thought like that, to be honest. I've always just kind of thought my music is my music, and that's what defines me. It's not really about what I look like, even though I like to get my hair done.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I think the pressure's always going to be there, but I think the more important thing is whether you let the pressure get to you and whether you put the pressure on yourself, which I personally don't, because from a young age, sort of from 10, 11, when girls aren't really interested in their looks, music has always been the thing for me. So I've kind of let that take over rather than the images where people getting their nails done and all this sort of stuff. I've never been interested in that. And I just hope that the music sort of overtakes that, and because that's what I want to be known for. I wouldn't want to be a sort of Miley Cyrus where people look at me a certain way. I'd rather them listen to my music and appreciate me in that way rather than look at me and, you know.
And do you think it's important, again, if you were going to give advice to, you know, say a 13-year-old, 14-year-old girl who's watching this, who is a, you know, an aspiring musician, what would be, I'm going to ask each of you this actually, what would be the key piece of advice you would offer to somebody of that age?
I guess one of the things I've learned the most is to dress what you're comfortable in, and also the audience want to feel like they're on your level. I don't want to be playing to a crowd of people where I feel like I'm bigger than them. I want to feel like they're with me on stage. Yeah. I don't want to have to wear anything which is going to make them feel threatened in any way. Like, I just want to dress like a normal girl, like they are. You know, I've seen loads of acts that like dress really casually, and that inspired me to do it, because when I was younger I didn't really know any better, so I'd always like put a dress on or something. And then like you grow up and you're like, you don't need to do this, you know, you're just doing something you enjoy, so do it as you're comfortable, like don't feel pressured to do it. Yeah. So I think as long as you need to be on the same level as your audience, that's the only way you're going to get like a really good fan base.
And what same kind of question to you there, Sandy, what would the key advice that you would give a young woman who's looking to break into music?
Well, it's the same really, just be yourself. Like, I think I had a real issue with myself when I first started playing by myself. I just kind of wasn't really confident enough, and I'm still not massively confident until I'm playing, and then I'm kind of like in the moment. And so you just have to, just be yourself and just go with it. That's what I'd say.
What about you guys?
I think that as well, yeah, and also just sort of go with your instincts, both with the sort of image and with music as well. I think if your gut is telling you to go with something, like what you were saying, like wearing a dress and things like that, if whatever you're wearing makes you feel comfortable, I think music overall is about self-expression. So if you're trying to be something that you're not, then you're not expressing yourself. Yeah. So I think if there's something that you want to get off your chest and you want to wear whatever, you know, just go for it. And I think just don't really care what people think of you, because then you're not going to get anywhere if you let what other people think if you bring it down.
You kind of end up being shaped by opinions.
Yeah, you just have to sort of be your own person and feel confident. Or even if you don't feel confident in it, you just need to sort of project the confidence in yourself and don't let anyone else try and make you into something that you're not, I think.
And then Hannah, any last words of advice?
I mean, I like changing my image and stuff, and it's not for anyone else, it's personally just for me, because my style of music has changed, and now I've got the band. Number one rule, do not wear platform high heels, because you trip over the stage and you just look like an absolute clown. And literally, I'd rather just wear flats. or just like some wedges or something, because the amount of times my leg or my heel has been like wrapped around a cable or something and I've gone, but then you stand there and you're not comfortable, and I'd rather be kind of like jumping around or just be comfortable on stage, and like you said, like connecting with the audience and stuff like that. So
I think the main thing, kind of, again, from all of you guys, is it's about doing something that's a personal journey for you and a personal expression for you, and something that you feel comfortable with, and I guess that's the musical journey that you've all been on, which is why it's been really, really inspirational to kind of hear you guys talk, and hopefully you guys watching as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you Hannah Faulkner, Amii Dawes, and Sandy, also known as Velvet Engine, and we're going to finish up with the lovely Charlotte Carpenter with If I Could. Thanks very much.
We don't need to work all day, baby. We can make a fortune on dreams. These are words I used to remember, baby, but something it has tainted me, and that's life. It comes along. Take my hand and go running. We can run around wild and free. These are words I used to remember, baby, but something it has tainted me, and that's life. Oh, when it comes along. If I inside the fire is burning, it's dampened by the flood in my mind. You think I would be used to the fear now, darling, but while I wait I fear I'll go blind. One day we'll be all that we wanted, but right now I cannot see the end. One day we'll be all that we wish for, but right now all we do is pretend. If I could, then I would. If I could, then I would. Then I would.